I'm officially divorced. I'm officially divorced. It is done. It is done. And oh my gosh, I have like I have like the biggest Kool-Aid smile right now. It's ridiculous. All right, hey you guys. So um yeah, I mean, what else? What else can I say? Um this is very nerve-wracking. To be talking about this out loud finally, in a little more detail than before. But um, if you're new, hello, my name is Brianna, and hopefully, I don't know, if you clicked on this video and this is your first video you're watching of me, I pray that this resonates with you, that you get some kind of clarity. But I do want to just post a disclaimer. This is just my experience. This is my testimony. And I wouldn't be saying it. I wouldn't be telling anybody anything if it wasn't for just the prompting of the Holy Spirit and just trying to be obedient. So yeah, let's get started. Obviously I'm outside, so I apologize for the lighting. It is going to change. So yeah, let's just rip the band-aid off. Let's just get it started. So I have my notes because I did write a whole book. Okay, it seemed like a book. I wrote a lot. It's like a 5-page testimony. Okay. So first things first. You're gonna see me smile a lot and laugh. Part of it is just me being nervous. The other part of it is me being actually joyful and happy for me to finally be able to talk about it. So I apologize if it makes anyone uncomfortable. Just click off the video. It's not for you, right? It's just not for you. If you feel convicted in any way and you just get riled up for any reason, take it to God, okay? Don't unleash your rage in the comments, okay? This is a safe space, and I will delete your comment, okay? So, just had to put that out there. So, now we can get started. Today, at the time of me filming this video, it is February 4th, 2025. I wrote down my testimony. When did I do this? A couple days ago. So I'll just say January 31st because I did want to get it out before January was up so that I could start fresh February officially new. But I don't know why the delay. I don't know. I don't know what I was thinking, but I'm doing it now. So yeah, I'm officially divorced. It is done. And oh my gosh, I have like the biggest Kool-Aid smile right now. It's ridiculous. So just for my A-type people, shout out to y'all. As of January 27th, the judge granted my divorce. We filed January of last year. I got the paperwork November, December of 2023 because I didn't know how else to file. Low-key was waiting on him to do it. But November, December 2023, we got the paperwork for it. We filled it out, got a notary for the parts that needed a notary, and I had the paperwork in hand. So we scanned it, and in January is when he filed it electronically online. But they sent it back because they said it was illegible. Girl, they couldn't read his handwriting. They couldn't read his handwriting, so they sent it back. And then the way that I had scanned it in made it landscape instead of portrait. So they sent it back. They were just like, no, we're not dealing with this. Do it right. Try it again. So it didn't take until April. Yeah, April was when we made the corrections, learned what all we needed, made sure we had everything, double check, dot our I's, cross our T's, all that, and resubmitted it. This time I took it and did it in person. I took the paperwork up to the court and filed it in person. May, I got a stamp on it. We waited the 60-day period, and then reappeared back in front of a judge. The first appearance was for a waiver fee or whatever. We were trying to get the court documents, the court fees waived or whatever, because I wasn't working at the time, and he wasn't gonna pay twice for filing or whatever. I don't know. It was just a bunch of confusion going on, and so I had to appear in front of a judge for because when we initially filled out the paperwork, he was the petitioner, I was the respondent, and for how the process went, the petitioner was the one that needed to follow up on things. The respondent really couldn't do much but respond to whatever the petitioner was doing, and since he was the petitioner but he wasn't really doing anything the further along the process, when I refiled and got the official stamp that the court did accept our filing, I filled the paperwork out as the petitioner. So that's that. So I had to go in front of the judge multiple times. It was just a lot of miscommunication, misunderstanding. She thought I had a full-time job. I really had a part-time job, but no one asked, no one clarified, and all this stuff. I don't know. It was just unnecessary stuff that was causing delay. So after having to go in front of a judge 2-3 times, I was like, okay, it's been a year at this point. It's November 2024, and I'm like, okay, Lord, I really don't want to keep going through this. Whatever the delay is, maybe it's because I'm supposed to still be praying for him. Maybe it's because I'm supposed to still be covering him, because the whole scripture with the believing spouse covers the unbelieving spouse and all that stuff. So I'm thinking the delay is because I'm supposed to be interceding for him in some way, when really it was demonic delay going on. But January 2025, January 27th, 2025, your girl said, okay, let's try this one more time. I know what the judge is asking for, and hopefully I did everything correctly that I was supposed to do, and by God's grace, it will be finalized. So that's what happened. January 27th, I logged on because I was able to get on the docket electronically, because of the type of filing that I had. I was able to show up to court electronically, and the wait was long. The wait was long. It's crazy because I didn't even appear on the docket. I think you have to log in at a certain time frame, and I made it on just a few minutes after that time frame. So I don't think I actually made it to the attendance to get on the docket, but I was there for a roll call. So um they're going through so many cases, and she's going back and forth with um other lawyers because they're trying to get the details out so they can clarify how much time it's going to take to hear their case or whatever. And she's like, okay, well, this is not the time for that, let me get through roll call. Like, she just seemed very aggravated, very irritated. And I just kept remembering, I want to say now that it was the Holy Spirit, but I don't know for sure. I think God was really like nudging me like to move, because last time I had appeared in front of this judge, she had sent me to another judge because I guess, I don't know, I guess she was just short of patience for my case. I guess, or maybe she just didn't want to deal with a pro se filer. I don't know. Maybe she preferred to deal with lawyers. I don't, whatever the case was, God bless her. But she sent me to a different judge. And so as I'm online waiting for my case to be called, in the attendance in the roll call, which I didn't know if I had made it or not. I just know that it's an open docket, and they, once they accept your filing, they tell you, okay, you can appear on the docket. So I didn't know if I was officially on roll call or not. I just know that I'm in the courtroom. I'm waiting patiently for her to call my case for the docket. And Holy Spirit was just like, they dropped the link for the other judge. First of all, I was thinking that, man, she sent me to a different judge last time. Do I need to follow up with that judge, right? Because the last time I was in court, I spoke to a different judge. So maybe I need to follow up with that judge, since they know, right? They know the previous conversations, it's on record, blah blah blah. So I'm thinking, man, okay, she calling roll. Maybe she'll call my name and then send me to the other judge like she did last time. And then I was like, well, I already pretty much have history with the other judge. So, and when I say history, I mean like I've already presented my case in front of her. So do I need to go to her court instead? And then one of the court reporters, put it in the recorder, the people who keep record of the conversations that are being had. They dropped the link for the other judge. So I was like, okay, maybe this is time. Maybe I need to click the link and get on her, jump courts. And so I was like, okay, well, this judge didn't tell me to move. So I'm gonna just stay here. I'm gonna wait till she called my name, and then I'll go over. But after, waiting so many minutes, I was like, okay, well, she seems irritated. She seems very aggravated. She's going back and forth with people. She does not seem like she's in a good mood. So I don't even want her to see my face. I don't even want her to say my name, because I just know she, I've spoken to her 2-3 times, and she probably think I'm incompetent and don't even want to hear my case, don't want to hear any updates. So I'm just going to click this link, and I'm going to hop in the other judge's court. So click the link, and I'm there, and I'm waiting patiently for them to, again, call my case when they're ready to hear it. And I finally get a chance to talk to the judge, and she was like, the new judge, and she was like, well, were you on roll call? Were you on the docket? And because they have a printout, right? They have a printout. And I told her, no, ma'am, I wasn't there on the docket. And she was like, okay, well, give me your case number again. Like, she was going to put me on attendance so she could hear my case. So I gave her all the information that she needed, and she was like, okay. And she went on to proceed with hearing the other people's cases. Now, people's cases were getting dismissed, like cases from 2022, from 2023, like cases were being dismissed, not as in dismissed, we've ruled a decision on it and this matter is done. No, as in dismissed, you're gonna have to refile and start over again because we have too many cases in the queue to go back through all the details of your case. You need to start over. Type dismissed. So I was like, oh man, we started this back in 20, 2023, even though we didn't file until like 2024. So like, this is top of the year 2024 or summer 2024. Are they gonna dismiss my case? Am I not gonna be able to get a ruling on this case? Am I gonna have to start over? Like, I was like, oh man, like I started praying. I was like, we speaking against all blah blah, like we're going in, okay. And so I'm sitting there. I think I was on I was in court for, again, electronically. I was in court for a good 3 hours, just sitting there waiting for her to hear my case and see what's next. Now I'm going in with faith that I'm gonna get a decision. This is my last ditch effort. I'm gonna get a decision. But part of the expectation was also, okay, if I have to come back, if I have to bring some other kind of information, if I have to do something else, if she denies it and tells me I need to start over, then so be it. We will do it, right? Whatever needs to be done will be done. And I went in with that mindset. But I had faith that this was gonna be it. This was gonna be it. I got what she wanted me to get, and that's it. So, speed up further. And this is not even part of the testimony. This is just me finally getting the word that is done. So, 2-3 hours passed. And she gets to my case, and we go through a quick overview over it, and she's like, okay, well, what does she say? She says, we talk about one aspect of the case, and I'm telling her, well, this is how, this was my thought process on it. This is how I got to this result. And she was like, okay, well, it really supposed to be something else, right? And I was like, yes, ma'am. She was like, but you both agree on it, right? I said, yes, ma'am. She said, okay, well, if y'all look, y'all signed, so that means y'all agreed. Okay, do you have your final word and testimony? And in my head, I'm like, what is that? Like, what you mean? No. But, it's a courtroom, so out of respect, I'm like, no, ma'am. And she starts telling me how to go about it. Praise God. God bless her, because she was so like, ooh, I don't even know her, and I love her. But she was just so helpful in the process. She was just like telling me, okay, I need this, but I need to hear other cases too. So while I'm hearing these other cases, go work on this. And if you can get it to me by the time I come back around to you, then I'll grant a decision on you. I'll do a ruling on your case. So because she was like, I need this. These are things that I need to make a decision. And so I was like, yes, ma'am, thank you. So I'm still in court. I'm still in court, but while she's dealing with like two other cases, because I think they were waiting on people to log in, or somebody was handling a different case for a different client in the same building, and I don't know. It was just the way she was moving that thing. She was moving that thing around, and she finally gets back to my case. She was like, "Okay, do you have what I asked for?" I said, "Yes, ma'am." She was like, "Okay, go ahead." So, I go ahead and present that last piece of thing that she needed, and she go through asking me some procedural questions and made a ruling on my case. And she was like, "All right, I such and such hereby grant your your it was that was it. That was it. So I am officially divorced. Now let me tell you why it's a good thing. This sun keeps poking in and out. Let me see if I can move a little bit and catch some of this light. Excuse the blinds, y'all. My kids are straight dangerous. All right. I don't know. Is that good? I don't know. The light is it's doing this thing. It's doing its own thing. But let me tell you why I am super excited about my divorce being final. My divorce is final, you guys. I'm so excited. Oh my gosh, I'm super excited. Okay, so now let's get to I keep looking down. There's nothing down there. Let's get to the testimony. Okay, so like I said, I got my notes. It's 5 pages. It's 5 pages long. Okay, because your girl wanted to make sure she did not leave anything out. Like I said, this is out of obedience. Because trust me, I am a very reserved and private person. I do not like to share too much, and whatever I typically do share is because I don't mind people knowing. But this was so personal and low-key shameful, so I didn't really want to share it. But God was like, no, you need to tell people about this, but not yet. And so he's finally releasing me to do so. So here I am. Yes, I am officially divorced, and God had his hand on it. Okay, well, welcome to the video. Now we can get started. So yes, all praises to the Most High. I thank God for my divorce, and I'm not ashamed. I believe he definitely had his hand on it from the start. I believe he's had his hand on me since the beginning of this relationship. And I think the moment I woke up spiritually was the moment he grabbed me and was like, you need to get out of this now. So yes, I know, for all my religious spirits out there, okay, God does not like divorce. And yes, this is not something that we should glorify. This is not something that we should celebrate. I agree with that. I'm just draw the line in the sand. I do agree with that. And a part of my testimony explains me actually interceding for my husband and interceding for our marriage and fasting for our marriage and all this stuff. But as I'm doing these things, God is not depositing, but as I'm doing these things, God is not depositing restoration with this particular person. Does that make sense? So I'm just gonna read through what I've written, because I did take my sweet precious time to write it. They are not bullet points. These are paragraphs. It's a whole passage. It's a whole book. So I'm gonna read through most of it. And if I elaborate, then clearly it's not on the page. I'm just elaborating for context. Um, so a little backstory. We met in high school, but didn't start pursuing each other until years later. So this was about, I'm probably like 21 at the time. And he's older than me because, of course, he was a senior when I was a sophomore, 10th grade to sophomore, right? Freshman, sophomore, junior. Yeah, when I was a sophomore, he was a senior. So he is a couple years older than me. And I know I want to add like details and like, cause I'm a very visual person. I'm a very visual person, so I want to add details and stuff, but it's 5 pages long, y'all. So I'm gonna try and like just read through as much as I can without going off on a tangent. So a little backstory: we didn't know of each other in high school. We were not friends. We did not have the same circle of friends. We were really not in the same circles of people at all. But we did see each other around campus, and so we knew of each other, but we didn't quite know each other. We were both, when we finally met up, around college. Now I say college because I was in college at the time. He did not go to college for various reasons. Not that he didn't want to. It was just a lot of things going on his end as to why he couldn't go. But so he was working. He was a grown man working. All right, and I was in college. But I was going to school in town, so I didn't travel. I didn't go away. At this time, I wasn't away for college. I was going to college in the city. So I'm at my job. We run into each other, and we start talking. We were both fresh out of toxic relationships. I was not really looking for anything serious. We weren't operating in the spirit. We didn't proclaim to be believers, even though we did believe in God. Even though I did have a relationship with God, it just wasn't as strengthened at that time as it is now. And he believes in God also, but we were very much operating out of pride and lust and other things. We were not operating in the spirit at all. We were very much lukewarm and moving in our flesh. And in all transparency, it was given, I just wanted a one night stand because I had a crush on him in high school. I just wanted to see what it was about, what the hype was about. That sounds so bad, but transparency, right? Transparency and vulnerability. And he didn't want anything serious because, again, he was coming out of a toxic relationship as well. And so he just wanted the F buddy. He didn't want anything serious, but he didn't want to be dipping in, a whole bunch of girls or whatever. So, I mean, I'm just being real. That's just what it was. So, yeah, we weren't looking for anything serious or anything long term. So to speed things up, through daily conversation, I started thinking because we were talking every day. When we finally, when we finally got reconnected, we were talking. He was calling me every day. And me, I didn't experience that often. If I was talking to a guy, we would talk every now and again, multiple times throughout the week, but we had other things that we were doing. So I had never talked to someone every day, every day. I got things I'm doing. I can't be sitting on the phone. I'm out of that phase where I'm just sitting on the phone, holding the phone. But he wanted to talk. He wanted to talk. So he would call me all the time. He would text me all the time. And I started thinking okay, well, he must like me for real. Because he keep wanting to talk to me every day, all day. And in hindsight, I didn't realize. In hindsight, I know now that was just his personality. He's a talker. He likes to talk. He likes to talk. He talks a lot. He is a talker. That's just what he is. He prefers phone calls instead of text. And I wasn't putting two and two together at the time. I just thought this guy must really like me, whatever, because he using up all his free time to talk to me. So I just took it at that. Very, very naive, very fresh. um, but yeah. So also from his perspective, he was beginning to see that I wasn't like most girls that he was used to dealing with. Because I'm not a hood rat. I'm not. I'm not. I don't bring drama. I'm very quiet. I'm very reserved. I stay to myself pretty much, and he wasn't used to that either. So yeah, I don't know. I guess it brought him peace. I don't know, whatever the situation was. But we started to hang out like a lot. We started to hang out a lot, and that situationship that we had became something more exclusive to where he was cutting off people, I was cutting off people, and we were spending more of our free time together. Um, and then again, speed forward. Now we're in this full blown relationship. We're shacking together, playing house. Another year later, we have our oldest on the way. And long story short, we're in this very worldly relationship for 2 years. And when our son turns like 10 months, we break up. We break up. And I say it's mutual. He would argue me down to this day to say that it was not mutual, but it was. Long story short, on that part, I was I was tired. I was tired of the cycle that we were in, playing house and all this stuff, and there was no commitment. I've always wanted marriage, but of course, when we first got together, I did not see him as the type to marry. I knew that he was not going to be, right, my husband, because I wanted more, I wanted better, but I don't know. I don't know what made me just change that. I don't know. But to get back to the story, back then my motto was like whatever happens, happens. So I was very much free with the wind, gone with the wind, whatever you want to say, wherever the wind blew, that's where I went, that's what I did. So, you know, with that mindset, I find myself in a relationship, a baby, and I'm not at the point in my life. I'm not where I want to be at that time. I'm not married. I actually lost my job because my pregnancy was so I had health challenges in my pregnancy, and that caused me to miss a lot of work. And because I was part-time, I wasn't covered under certain, maternity type resources. So, out of respect, they let me go. And so, I'm shacking with this guy, got a baby. Not a baby on the way, but the baby is here. He's 10 months and don't have no car. Like nothing. Don't have nothing. Broke, young and broke, and pregnant and barefoot. But I had the baby. You know what I'm saying? So it was just I wasn't in a good place. I wasn't in a good place, and I didn't blame him for it. It was just I was ready to break out of that cycle. So I told him that I was going to be celibate until we got married because we were already talking about it. So, I didn't think it would be a long time. We were already talking about it. We were already planning for a courthouse wedding and all that stuff because neither one of us cared to have, the big show or whatever. But I guess he was like, you shutting it down on me. That's not what I signed up for, blah blah blah. I love you, but I need that too. Pretty much. So we ended up breaking up, and it went well for me. I can't say the same for him. He definitely had a lot of setbacks. But I started, I got back to work. I had a new job, something that was leading me to a career, something that allowed me to take care of myself and my son. I was able to move out. I was able to get me a car. Like, your girl was soaring, okay? And we stayed broken up for like 4 years. We remained broken up for 4 years. I didn't want to go back. I was living my best life, baby. Okay. I didn't I I didn't want to go back. I didn't want to go back to that. And then he was having, at that time he was having such destruction happening. Um I don't know. I just found myself overextending myself trying to help him and whatever was going on with him, because out of respect, just out of respect to him being the father of my son, I need you to be on your feet so you can take your son. You know what I'm saying? Like, I need a break too. And if you're not on your business, then you can't get your son. I need you to get on your business so you can get your son. That's like the mindset I was at. So I really, really went out of my way to try and get him stable and settled. And I don't know, it was just I went up and he digressed. I mean, that's just what it was. So we remained broken up for like 4 years. How did we get back together? Right? How do we end up getting back together? How do we even end up married? Right? Well, whenever we talk, and again, this is during the time of us being broken up. Whenever we would talk, of course, it would always be about our son, but he would always make it a point to say, well, I still have love for you, whatever, and whoever I'm talking to, if you wanted to get back together, I would dump them or whatever, and we can get back together or whatever. And I should have noted I should have noticed the narcissistic tones then, because he would say how he would want to be with me, but then make me the reason why we broke up, even though it was a mutual thing. We were already in agreement to move forward in our relationship, mind you, okay? And the fact that you didn't want to move forward in our relationship, all because you had to hold out on sex for a few months or a year, even. Like, come on now. How much does a ring really cost? How much does a courthouse wedding really cost? We're already living together. We already have a baby together. We've already been together for 2 years. So we already know, right? We already know it. I mean, I'm sorry. 6 months is enough time. I'm just going to put it out there. 6 months is enough time. And the fact that we've known each other longer, before we even got together, you know what I'm saying? It's like, we weren't strangers. We knew of each other already. And then for us to get together and be together for 2 years and already have our life together, that was the only thing that was missing, just a commitment. That's all I wanted. But thank God it did not happen at that time. It eventually happened. And we got back together. Why? Because one stinking night, I was very lonely. And mind you, it had been 4 years since we had been together. Don't get me wrong, I was seeing someone else at the time. We weren't together, but whenever I wanted some male company, I had somebody to go to. It didn't have to be, my baby's dad, right? But that night, for some reason, I reached out to him, and he came over. We reconnected, and that was it. So I just had to make it clear, like, okay, well, if we're gonna get back together, then you understand I'm looking for the same thing I was looking for when we first broke up. And we had many conversations after that about it. And he was telling me he was gonna step up more. He wanted to be in his son's life, all this stuff, blah 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 blah, all this stuff that really didn't have anything to do with us getting together. He really could have been doing all of this, but without us even getting together. But I don't know, for whatever reason, we get back together, and with the expectation of marriage, right? And I don't know. He was a new person. When we got back together, he was definitely a new person. I had never recognized that side of him before. I never experienced that side of him before. He was being very gentle with me, and he'd listen, and our communication was a lot smoother. I don't know. It was just like he was a different person. So that's what made me say, okay, we can, I'll get back into this relationship with you. And I was not expecting him to propose months later. I was not. He already had a ring. Okay, he already had a ring, and he just needed me to uh, get back with him so he can make his move. So, that's how that setup happened. We got back together April of 1 year. I forget. I don't know. Our oldest was about 4 or 5 years old at the time. Um, so we get back together in April, and I think September is when he proposed on his birthday. That's a bad thing, guys. Don't propose to your girl on your birthday. That's selfish. Don't do that. Don't do that. But yeah, I didn't pick up on the narcissistic tones. I've heard of a narcissist before, but I didn't really understand what a narcissist was or what the behaviors look like. So I say yes, even though in my heart of hearts I knew I should have said no. That's just another thing. I just really think God was trying to save me then. I'm sorry, God. I really think God was trying to save me then, because in my heart I wanted to say no, but just the pressure of me wanting this relationship with this guy, and then him actually wanting to be in his son's life, and then all of his family coming over, and then some of my dear family members that actually made it, and it being his birthday, instead of him celebrating his birthday, he's celebrating our engagement. I was just a young and dumb. Okay, young and dumb. Okay, and I said yes when I should have said no. I said yes. So the marriage. My goodness, the marriage. We were married for 4 years. Okay, 3 years together. That last year was us being separated. So we got married in 2020. Yes, during the pandemic, September 2020, we got married. And last year, 2024, that entire year we were separated because he moved out January of 2024. Mid January 2024 is when he moved out. And so that entire last year, we were living apart. We were separate, even though Texas does not recognize legal separation. We were separated. However, legally we were still married, right? Overall, the marriage in hindsight amplified what problems were already there. So sure, surface level problems like how to handle finances and build the life that we wanted, but the tension was more so spiritual, that it spilled over into our physical problems. There was an issue with everything. It was tension in everything, in our communication, just the lack of listening to understand and just listening to respond was at an all-time high. We could never come to a resolution. We always had to table a discussion instead of coming up with a solution, working forward to a solution. And then the issue with sex, of course, for me, it was very emotional. I needed some kind of intimacy, some kind of emotional connection for that. I couldn't just perform like I used to perform. Now it was an emotional attachment that I needed, and or even an intelligent attachment, and I couldn't get either, because we would be at odds about everything. So there was no sex. Well, there was sex, but he could tell when I wasn't really into it or when I was faking or whatever. So that diminished a lot of times that we actually did do it. And then there was a lack of intimacy. There was no intimacy whatsoever. Parenting, we didn't agree. He always thought I was babying the boys. um he always thought I was babying the boys. I always thought he was mad for too mad, like, just we couldn't agree on anything. We couldn't agree on anything. Even our lifestyles and our finances, even though we both wanted to do certain things, the way we wanted to go about doing them was very different. And then, our beliefs, even though we both believed in God, I believed in being in church. I believed in bringing the kids to church. I believed in being involved in my church. I believed in tithing. You know what I'm saying? He didn't believe in tithing. He was going through church hurt, and he didn't really care if I brought the kids or not, to church or whatever. It was just, we were just never on the same page. So even it even got to the point where our first year